Hello and welcome to Reviews. As always, I'm Plume Noir, and here we have the latest issue of Avengers, issue number 15. And, okay, first off, I have to apologize if you hear background wind noise. Um, we're going through something that the news has been calling for the past several days a cyclone bomb. And I am so sick of that phrase. I swear, they wait for every big weather event to come up with new names. I've never heard this phrase before, but basically we're getting gusts of winds here up to like 50, 60 miles an hour. It was just sunny, now it's gotten dark, and so anyway, that's enough of the local weather forecast. But just wanted to say that if you hear wind gusts, yeah, really not much I can do about that, so I apologize in advance. So let's take a look at this book. As we see, we got Ghost Rider surrounded by the vampire hunters, and they're doing a take off of the old National Lampoon here. Where the cover said, buy this magazine or we'll kill this dog, and had the guy with the gun up to the dog's head. Um, Interesting thing about that. A couple years after that issue, that magazine went out, someone went and found the dog and killed it because of how famous it became. Yeah, how messed up is that? So anyway, as you know, we got the whole vampire civil war thing going on, which I've been digging. I just wish that they didn't do this. War of the Realms is coming in 2 months. Yeah, I know it's the big crossover, but it's almost like, yeah, don't care about this story. This is pay attention to this. This is the big news. Um, and I've been digging this. And I've said in previous videos that I just hope it ends well and doesn't peter out like almost every other storyline they've done in this book. But one thing that really bugs me about this cover, and it's not a bad cover, some people don't like dialogue on their cover like this. I don't mind it. But it's the layout. This was laid out so poorly that they had to take the Avengers logo and push it off to the side. Shrink it down, push it off to the side. You see that? That's bad, bad cover design, and they should have known that when they were drawing it. Um, they could have done some tricks to shrink it down, um, move him up a little. They could have done something with this. The funny thing is, you could do that digitally so easy now. Back, 20 years ago, they would do that by hand. Actually, take a photostat and cut it up and manually move it and have people redraw it. And yeah, it was a lot more work. And see, told you, Wingus. But yeah, that's bad design. That's like a amateur mistake. So anyway, about the book, we actually get a lot going on in this. At the end of the previous issue, the Avengers stupidly brought them the vampire hunters back to Avengers Mountain, the dead celestial, and yeah, then it turns out, it's not. Things aren't what they seem, and basically they came for Ghost Rider. They've converted Ghost Rider, so now they're making their mistake, and we get the dialogue here from Robbie. My name is Roberto Reeves, and I am screaming, 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 screaming. Yeah, because he's been pretty much possessed. And, it's been fun, Blade, but I'll be leaving now. One question is, am I killing you before I go? And so the Avengers are coming in, basically fighting them. It starts out pretty good. Wow, look how big her hips are. Heck, I'm just surprised Captain Marvel has hips again. So, and yeah, he could turn to mist, so Carol flew right through him. And yeah, they show vampires turning to mist, when their clothes disappear. I guess it works the same with armor as well. Um, yeah, whatever. I mean, if you're going to give the suspension of disbelief, sure, why not? So then the Hellhound comes through, and stupid thing. This is Thor. Where are these intestines you speak of? Are they near the buttocks? Come on, really? Really? They're talking to get down to the intestines to check out Ghost Rider, but come on, Thor. Stop writing Thor as if he's stupid. The guy's been around thousands of years. Pretty sure he can make the equivalent of where anatomy is inside the giant celestial. Ah, the guts, all Avengers to the whatever. But the Hound says, "We have what we came for, Colonel." And you know, do we have time for me to eat this one? He smells like pharmaceuticals. That's the best line about Cap ever. Captain America, drugs are good. You tell me, Sarge, where the hell is our ride? And yeah, turns out their ride is Robbie. With his car, and he's all, demoned out, looking actually pretty badass. And Robbie, God, what's happened to you? Ryder, be a good boy and show your friends what you are now, what you were always meant to be. And he blasts them back. Poor Carol, he's just, look at that. She is just getting blasted around in this book. People who hate Captain Marvel will love this. So yeah, they basically escape, like a bat out of hell. Vampires, hell car, whatever. I couldn't resist the obvious pun. And of course, we get the typical, possessed by evil comments, and God help me, the worst part is, even through all the agony, it feels so damn good. And yeah, so we get basically Panther shows up and talks about the mountain repairing itself and how the Shadow Colonel won't be going to Robbie's, going after his younger brother because they're going to turn him loose to try to get to Dracula. And so Panther's found out that Dracula is with the Winter Guard. So Iron Man has used a stealth suit, which is actually a pretty cool version. I like the old stealth suit back from the 80s, which was basically just the Iron Man suit, but kind of in the purplish blue with only the red eyes, and originally had no offensive weaponry, but then brought back later and can only shoot 3 repulsor rays. That's a cool suit. I like that suit. So anyway, Iron Man's pretty much trying to interrogate Dracula. He's broken into the Winter Guard's prison, changed the security system so he could talk freely for a minute. And Dracula goads him, says, I don't have the power I used to have. I just want to, basically just wants to retire. He's basically dying. He's at the end of his immortal life somehow. And they talk about vampires being immortal and how people come to him, famous people, politicians, have come to him over the years to learn the secrets to become immortal, but his life's fading, whatever. And of course, Dracula tries to play the whole, oh, did you really think you were the first Stark to ever visit me? It was many years ago in my castle, but I can still see Howard Stark on his knees, blubbering and pleading. And, asking to give him a sip of his blood. And yeah, of course, he even comments about even the promising young child he adopted. They haven't retconned that story yet, that Tony Stark was adopted by Howard Stark. I figured they would have changed that by now, but somehow it still sticks. He's still, not really Howard Stark's son. So Tony asks, what is he offering the Russians? And, he says that Dracula's a very old aristocrat who has seen and heard many interesting things over the century. And yeah, basically, information is power. And when Dracula says that he is not going with them because Tony's going to be too involved with the riot. And so a riot has broken out in the Winter Guard's prison, in the Gulag. And the Winter Guard is trying to take them down, trying to quell it, and Tony, of course, comes in to help. And Crimson Dynamo is not too happy about it. Stark, you should be under arrest, and you really want me behind bars right now, Dmitri? Damn it, I told Moscow we should put a stake through that monster's heart. And yeah, then it cuts over to Singapore, where we have a bunch of vampires pleading, they're peaceful vampires. We only feed on the blood of the wicked. It's just this, the rats they use, they fill them with sunlight grenades to kill the vampires. I love that. That is why you read comic books, for the silly stuff like that, but it's silly but cool as well. I don't know, maybe I just find that so awesome. And yeah, we get actually a proper introduction to all the all the and I've already forgotten their name. All the vampire hunters, Snow Snake, really, Snow Snake, and the uh, Carpathian, do, and there's one I like here. Baroness Blood is here because she thinks we're gonna help her bring the Fourth Reich, a vampire Nazi. How cool is that? I mean, that's just, you know, two acceptable targets, and that at the same time, that is just fun. Sarge, of course, the demon dog, um, and then he has a boy thing. I didn't even notice that at first. He grew him from the Everglades, obviously somehow from the man thing, and that's how he gets the wooden stakes that fire his that he uses in his Gatling gun, which is also pretty cool. And so his test on Ghost Rider is to kill a whole bunch of vampire younglings. Kind of like Anakin Skywalker. And so Ghost Rider is thinking, now everything is quiet. So quiet I can hear my own skull sizzling. There's so much fire inside me right now, burning me up from the inside. So much that I have no choice but to let it out. And yeah, I probably should stop it right about here, after the riot is quelled and Stark is talking to the Winter Guard. So why did he do it about the riot? Maybe just to show us he could, or to prove he's being truthful about what he says and he doesn't want to fight anymore. And speaking of idiots, we have to arrest you now, Avenger. I know you feel like you have to try, but don't you people have enough enemies as it is? Maybe I'll show one more panel. Yeah, just show this panel because Crimson Dynamo just lands a punch right into Stark's gut. Just, that's awesome. But anyway, I'm going to stop it right there. I'm liking this. This storyline so far has been my favorite of the Avengers. The Atlantean one wasn't that good. The Celestial, the first story arc was it was kind of cool, but I was bored by it. I don't know why. It just was. I don't know. This I'm actually really enjoying, and I'm not really much of a vampire guy. But the Civil War, I kind of want to see where this is going. If Avengers still keeps with the every 2 weeks thing, we should have what 3 or 4 more issues before the next big crossover storyline. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's got enough goofiness to it that just makes it like this is why you read comics. Rats with sunlight grenades strapped to them. And yeah, there's also the ending with Ghost Rider and the children. That's actually pretty good. I don't want to give it away, but I'm enjoying this. This has been probably the best storyline in this new Avengers run. Not enough She-Hulk for my taste, but I always say that. I have to say it now because it's habit. So yeah, I am going to go 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock with this. I wish they'd laid out the cover better. And this is also a storyline where, I've mentioned in other issues, they go really heavy with the blacks and the inks. But it fits with this. It really fits with this storyline. Because, of course, it's vampires. That's what you want. They operate in dark, and that stealth armor is pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm enjoying this. And I've also said that the Avengers book has turned me around on Robbie, the current Ghost Rider. I'm actually liking him. And so yeah, 1 o'clock. Giving this a 1 o'clock. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I got to do these videos kind of quick today because they've been saying expect power loss today. So I want to get all this out of the way and done in case I do lose power, which I have a couple times with the past few storms that have come through. So anyway, yeah, I am recommending this. So as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment, and I will see you on the next one.